Hello and welcome to this deep dive.
Hello. Yeah, it's great to be diving in with you today.
So today we're stepping into, well, a really fascinating area, something that's grabbed human imagination for ages, the whole concept of the third eye.
It's one of those ideas deeply rooted in ancient traditions, isn't it? Hinting at ways of perceiving things beyond our usual five senses.
Exactly. And what's really interesting about our focus today is the source material we're working with.
Right, because it's not just theory. We've got this guide that doesn't just talk about the third eye, but actually lays out practical, step-by-step methods for, well, potentially activating it.
Yeah, it's quite practical. So our mission today is pretty clear. We're going to unpack this guide together with you. We'll try to understand what this source means by third eye, walk through the detailed steps of these methods, kind of like we're learning them too.
Alongside you, yeah.
And explore what this whole idea could mean for anyone looking for maybe deeper awareness or just a different kind of connection.
Think of it like we're getting the info straight from the text, and we're just exploring it together.
All right, let's get right into it then. Our source starts with the basics. What is this third eye it's talking about?
Okay, so according to this guide, it often goes by names like the Ajna chakra, in yogic traditions.
Right.
And it's also sometimes linked, maybe hypothetically, to the pineal gland in the brain. But the location, the source is specific. It's that spot right between your eyebrows.
That particular point. Okay.
Yeah.
And the source gives it a pretty big role, doesn't it? It's not just a physical location.
Oh, definitely not. The guide describes it as like the core center for intuition, insight, spiritual awareness. It's framed almost like a channel. The source uses the phrase a ditch, which is interesting.
A ditch.
Yeah, ditch to hidden layers of the mind and cosmic energies. So opening it is presented as really a doorway to a deeper understanding of reality.
Wow, a doorway to understanding reality differently. That really sets the stage for why someone might even want to explore this. So building on that, what kind of benefits does the source suggest you might get if you, go down this path?
Well, the guide lists some really intriguing possibilities. One of the first is a big boost in intuition and insight. The source suggests you might understand what others are feeling or even thinking without them actually saying anything.
Imagine that, just getting a sense of a situation or someone's state just by being there, not just relying on words. That's quite a different level of understanding.
It really could change how you perceive interactions. The source also mentions clearer, more meaningful dreams, like dreams that might offer guidance or insights you wouldn't normally catch when you're awake.
So your dreams become less jumbled and more like getting actual information.
That seems to be the idea, yeah. Another really fascinating one mentioned is being able to perceive energies or auras around things and people.
Like sensing the vibe of a place or someone's energy, but maybe more visually.
Exactly. Traditional accounts often talk about seeing colors or fields of light. And then, getting quite deep, the source mentions gaining cosmic awareness.
Cosmic awareness.
Yeah, feeling a sense of oneness with the universe, really understanding your place in it all.
That shifts from just personal insight to feeling, deeply connected. And what about on a more personal, internal level? Any benefits there?
Oh yeah, the guide definitely suggests finding more mental peace and less stress or anxiety. It frames these as sort of natural side effects of the focus and meditation involved in the practices.
Okay, so let's put this in perspective for you listening. This source suggests the potential to unlock a whole different way of seeing reality. You might perceive things more deeply, understand people better with intuition, feel connected to everything, and find inner calm. It's quite a picture.
It really is. And the source doesn't just leave it there. It moves right into the how, laying out 3 quite distinct methods.
Okay, let's dive into that first practical path the guide offers. This one seems to combine energy therapy, meditation, and some natural tools.
Right, this first method is laid out very specifically, almost like a guided practice or ritual. It starts by telling you what you'll need.
Okay, what's on the list?
An amethyst stone is suggested. Now, the source says it's optional, but it notes it's known for helping with third eye work and spiritual energy.
Makes sense. Optional, but maybe helpful. What else?
And then, to set the mood, incense or a scented candle. The idea is to create a positive vibration, calm the mind. And really importantly, you need a quiet, dark space. No distractions, no negative energy, as the source puts it.
Environment is key, definitely. And for inside your head?
A mental mantra. The source gives examples like, my third eye is opening, or I attain truth. Simple focus phrases.
Got it. So you've got your tools, your space, your mantra. How does the process actually work, step by step?
Okay, first, prep the environment. Find that dark, quiet room. Light your candle or incense. Hold the amethyst if you're using it. And, interesting detail, the source also says wash your hands with warm water first to cleanse your energy.
Huh, like a little energy cleanse before you start? Okay. Then posture.
Sit comfortably, either on the ground or a chair. Keep your back straight, hands on your knees, palms facing up, head slightly forward, and eyes closed.
Right. Standard meditation posture. Now the focus.
Now the main part. You put all your attention on that spot between your eyebrows. The guide says to visualize a luminous sphere there, indigo or blue, and just imagine it getting brighter and stronger.
So it's not just thinking about the spot, but really seeing that energy or light there in your mind's eye.
Exactly. Active visualization. And you link this to your breath. So with every inhale through your nose, you imagine positive energy, maybe from the stone or the scent, or just the quiet entering your body and flowing right to that third eye spot.
Okay, drawing in the good stuff.
Right.
And the exhale.
With a slow exhale through your mouth, you imagine any negative or stuck energy leaving from that exact point. So you're using the breath, actively pull in positive, release negative right from that center.
The source also mentions a specific breathing rhythm for this, the 4-7-8 pattern.
Yes, exactly. A very specific cycle. You inhale deeply through your nose, count of 4 seconds. Then you hold that breath, feeling it in your abdomen for 7 seconds.
Hold for 7.
And then exhale slowly, completely through your mouth for a count of 8 seconds. And you just keep that cycle going throughout the session.
Okay, 4-7-8. And while you're doing the breathing and the visualization,
you simultaneously repeat your chosen mantra, just mentally. The guide really stresses doing this with faith and belief. It highlights how important your own conviction is.
that really drives home the idea that it's not just going through the motions, it's your mindset too. How often and for how long does the source say to practice this first method?
It recommends twice a day, once in the morning right when you wake up and again at night before sleep. Each session should be around 15 to 20 minutes, minimum 10-15 if you're really pressed for time.
Twice daily. And how long do you need to keep it up?
Consistency is key here. The source says practice this method for at least 21 consecutive days. It really emphasizes that continuity.
21 days straight. Got it. And as you're doing this, what signs might you notice? What does the source say to look for, indicating it might be working?
The guide lists a few things.
Yeah.
You might feel a slight physical pressure or maybe a warmth or burning sensation between your eyebrows. That can be one of the first things.
A physical sign.
Yeah. Also, maybe noticing you understand others' feelings better, having clearer or more vivid dreams, sometimes seeing lights or even auras, or getting sudden new images or bits of information popping into your mind like insights out of the blue.
Little flashes, maybe? Those are the hints, according to the source, that things are shifting.
Exactly. It encourages you to really pay attention to those subtle changes.
Fascinating. Okay, so that's method 1. Energy, tools, visualization, structured breathing. What's the second approach our source lays out? It's different, right?
Yeah, method 2 shifts the focus quite a bit. It centers much more on the power of sound and vibration.
Sound is the main tool. Okay, that is different. What does this one require?
Well, like the first one, you definitely need a quiet, dark space. But the main tool here is internal. It's the deep, elongated sound of OM.
Ah, the classic meditative sound. How does the guide say to use it?
The starting setup is similar. Sit comfortably, back straight, hands on knees, palms up, head slightly forward, eyes closed. The usual.
And the focus point. Still the same spot.
Still the third eye area, yeah. Concentrate your attention right there, between the eyebrows. But this time, the source suggests visualizing a purple sphere.
Purple. Okay, different color.
Yeah, visualizing this purple sphere filling with positive energy with each breath. So a slight shift in the visualization from method 1's blue indigo.
Got it. Purple energy for this sound method. Then you bring in the OM.
Exactly. You repeat the elongated OM sound. You can do it mentally, just in your head, or you can chant it aloud.
And what's the goal while you're chanting or thinking OM? What should you be feeling or seeing?
With each OM, you imagine that purple light in the third eye area getting stronger, brighter, more intense. But crucially, the source tells you to actively feel the vibration of the sound resonating right there in that spot.
Ah, so it's not just hearing the sound, it's feeling it in the target area.
Precisely. The vibration itself is presented as key here, like it's stimulating that area.
Interesting. Does this method use the same breathing pattern too? The 4-7-8?
Yes, it brings in that same deep breathing cycle. Inhale for 4, hold for 7, exhale for 8. And with each inhale, you keep drawing positive energy in and directing it towards that third eye spot.
Okay. And how long and how often for this sound-focused practice?
This one also needs daily practice, twice a day, morning and night. The sections are a bit longer than the first method, though, 20 to 30 minutes each time.
20 to 30 minutes. And the commitment period?
Same as method 1, you need to stick with it for at least 21 consecutive days.
21 days again.
Yeah.
And the signs of activation for method 2, are they different because of the sound focus?
There's some overlap, definitely.
Yeah.
Feeling energy moving or warmth in that area, understanding others without words, those are mentioned again.
Right.
But specifically linked to the visualization and the vibration, the source mentions seeing points of light or colored lines, maybe even geometric patterns when your eyes are closed.
Ah, so internal visuals, perhaps sparked by that focus on vibration and the purple light.
That seems to be the implication. Those internal visual experiences are highlighted as a key indicator for this particular method.
All right, so method 1 uses tools and visualization. Method 2 uses sound and vibration. What about the third and final path in this guide?
Method 3 takes another turn. This one is about connecting with elemental energy, specifically earth energy, and it uses a different visualization, a shining star.
Connecting with the earth, that sounds quite grounding. What does this method need?
It needs a really quiet environment. The source actually suggests being in nature, if possible, like a garden or a quiet park, to really enhance that earth connection.
Being outside, maybe feet on the ground, that feels right for this.
Absolutely. The guide also mentions using a powerful affirmation for focus, although, interestingly, it doesn't give examples like method 1 did. But the most essential thing for this method, sitting directly on the ground.
Not on a cushion or anything, straight onto the earth.
Yes, the source is very specific about that. Sit directly on the ground. It says it's essential for properly absorbing that earth energy.
Okay, essential. So you're outside, if possible, or in a very quiet space, sitting right on the ground, back straight, hands on knees, palms up. Where does the focus start here? It's different, right?
Yeah, this is where it diverges from the first two. You close your eyes, but you start by focusing your attention down on the soles of your feet.
Your connection point.
Exactly. Your direct contact with the earth. Then you imagine strong earth energy entering your body right through the soles of your feet. Visualize it moving upwards, the source says, like a calm river, heading towards your solar plexus, described as the center of the body.
Okay, energy flowing up from the earth into your core. Then what?
Once you feel or imagine that energy reaching your solar plexus, you then guide it further up, directing it specifically to the third eye spot between the eyebrows.
So you're actively drawing energy up from the ground through your center and channeling it to that point of perception.
That's the pathway, yeah.
Yeah.
And while you're doing that, you bring in the visualization for the third eye. Imagine a shining star right there on your forehead.
A star, not a sphere this time.
Nope, a shining star. And with each breath, you visualize its light getting stronger, brighter.
How does the breath fit in with this energy flow and the star?
Okay, so you inhale through your nose, really drawing that earth energy up into your body. You hold the breath in your abdomen, same hold as before. Then you exhale slowly through your mouth. And as you exhale, you imagine that energy reaching the third eye and making the star shine even more brilliantly.
So the breath powers the upward flow of energy and intensifies the star visualization. This method really seems to integrate that elemental connection. What's the time commitment here? How long and how often?
This one asks for the biggest commitment, according to the source. You need to do it every morning and every night. And each session needs to be at least 30 minutes long.
30 minutes minimum, twice a day. Wow. And the total duration?
This method requires 40 consecutive days of practice. So quite a bit longer than the 21 days for the other two.
40 days. It definitely sounds like it's framed as a deeper, more sustained practice to connect with those energies. What about the signs of activation for this earth energy method? Are they different again?
They seem quite expansive, yeah, which kind of fits with the nature connection idea. The source mentions seeing colored auras around objects, specifically listing blue, purple, and gold as colors you might start to perceive.
Seeing the world bathed in color fields.
Kind of like that, yeah. It also talks about becoming more sensitive to nature sounds, suggesting you might start to grasp a deeper meaning or understanding from, say, the wind or bird song or water flowing.
Almost like tuning into nature's language.
Potentially. or at least perceiving its energy more directly. The Source also describes feeling a sort of duality, like one part of you is doing daily tasks, but another part is just calmly observing everything.
A detached observer sense.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then the really profound signs come back. Feeling that sense of oneness with the universe and getting that understanding of cosmic awareness that was mentioned as a core benefit.
Those later signs really tie back to that initial promise, don't they? A deeper grasp of reality. Okay, so we have these three pretty distinct paths from the Source tools and visualization, sound and vibration, earth energy, and a star. Are there any big principles that apply to all of them? Keys to success, maybe?
Yes, absolutely. The Source really emphasizes a few things that it says are crucial no matter which method you pick. And number one, very clearly stated, is belief and faith.
Belief in the process itself.
Yes, and in yourself. It stresses that believing the practice works and that you can do it is paramount. The guide flat out warns that if you lack faith, it's going to hinder your results. Seriously.
So your mindset, your inner conviction is absolutely foundational.
Totally central, according to this guide. Second, and this applies to all three, is consistency and discipline.
Makes sense.
The Source is really firm.
Yeah.
You need continuity. You need discipline. Quitting early just means you won't get where you're trying to go.
You have to commit to the daily practice for the full time.
Exactly. Day in, day out. Third, the Source advises you to take the signs seriously.
Don't just brush them off.
Right. Notice even the little things, that pressure between the eyebrows, the clearer dreams, maybe feeling energy. Don't dismiss them as just imagination. The guide says to acknowledge them as important feedback, signs are on the right track, and just keep going.
Like little confirmations from your own system.
Precisely. That's how it's framed.
Yeah.
And finally, the guide talks about caring for your energy and environment. It actually advises avoiding negative places or people, especially those with draining energy, during the time you're doing these practices.
Create a positive bubble.
Kind of, yeah. Cultivating a calm, positive environment around you is meant to really enhance the effects.
That makes a lot of sense. If you're working with subtle energy, your surroundings must matter. So those four: belief, consistency, noticing signs, and environment seem like the bedrock for all three methods.
They really are presented as the universal pillars for this kind of work, yeah.
This has been, well, a really eye-opening look into the methods this particular source offers. Thinking about the whole process described here, how does the guide kind of frame this entire thing, this attempt to activate the third eye?
You know, it frames it quite beautifully, I think. Not just as a set of techniques, but as a journey. It's called a journey to deeper awareness and spiritual understanding. Something you embark on, not just a quick fix.
A journey. I like that. And it has a powerful message about where the ability actually comes from, right?
Yes. A really profound point the source makes is that whatever power you seek is within you. It's not about getting something from outside, but about unlocking something already there. It just needs time and, well, dedicated practice.
That idea that the potential is inherent just needs cultivation that feels really empowering. And there's an analogy the source uses near the end to describe the shift in perception. It's really vivid.
It really is. The guide compares the experience to, like, putting on clean glasses and seeing reality in a clearer, deeper way. Suggesting that through this activation, the world just becomes full of things you couldn't sense before, like details popping out.
Like you've been looking through a foggy lens and suddenly everything snaps into sharp, vibrant focus, revealing layers you didn't even know existed.
It's a very effective way to capture that potential transformation in how you experience everything around you.
Well, this exploration of the third eye and these three very specific methods from our source has been absolutely fascinating. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into these possibilities.
Oh, it's been a real pleasure guiding you through these different paths, these potential doorways to new perception and understanding, just as this source describes them.
We've walked through three quite powerful approaches presented here, each offering maybe a different way into expanding awareness and understanding reality.
And the source leaves us with one final, very direct, almost challenging thought. Truth doesn't wait for anyone. Start today.
So as you reflect on everything we've discussed, maybe consider which of these paths, if any, resonates with you. Or perhaps just ponder the potential power of inner perception itself, and this idea that a clearer view of reality might be a journey that's waiting for you to begin.
Thank you so much for listening.
Goodbye for now.